Yeah, so good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of BNK Securities, welcome you all to the 1Q FY22 earning conference call with the management of the Ramco Cement. So we have with us from the management Mr. PR Venkatrama Raja, Chairman and MD, Mr. A.V. Dharmakrishnan, CEO, Mr. S. Vaidyanathan, CFO, and Mr. K. Selvanagam, Company Secretary. I would like to thank the management for giving us the opportunity to host the earning call. We would start the call with opening remarks from management, which will be followed by Q&A. For asking a question, participant can raise hand in attendees tab of WebEx platform. So right now we are starting with the opening remarks. Over to you, sir, for the opening remarks and presentation.
Good evening to everybody. Mr. Venkatramaraj will be joining very shortly. It's another board meeting. So on behalf of Ramco Cement, I welcome you all to this investor update Q1 21-22. So start with I make a small presentation, then followed by a small video on our commissioning of the new Line plant, then followed by questions and answers. So I make small presentation of the update on the Q3 21-22, Q1 21-22. So this contains an overview on our market update, sales and capacity utilization, key performance metrics, income statement, capex, and windmill. So you know very well, India is even though last year was worst affected by the pandemic, we expect the economy to bounce back very strongly. But the second wave, even though it affected a little bit, but still we are hopeful that India will be the fastest growing economy in the world. And the Reserve Bank of India also, maybe it's not reported here, the Reserve Bank of India is also estimated definitely our growth rate will be around 9.5% in the current year. So the positives are revenue of demand from rural housing. So even though second wave of people expected that unlike first wave, the second wave affected the rural economy, but to our experience, the rural people might have affected a little more than last quarter, but rural economy is still very strong, and economy is not affected by the second wave that badly as people anticipated or people estimated. That is the ground survey, whatever we have done, that is the result. So with the push on infrastructure because of the budget and other this one, definitely we expect the demand will bounce back once normalcy is returning everywhere. So the per capita consumption of cement is still 195 kg against global standard of 500 kg, showing significant potential for the growth of industry, which is around 40% of world average. So continued growth in middle class and urbanization is another positives. Watch out, definitely fuel price hike because all the commodity prices are definitely is going galloping. So definitely there is a little worrisome. But we will subsequent time we will show you how Ramco Cement is working to contain a fuel price hike the impact. That subsequent time will explain to you. And third wave, nobody can definitely we can't predict if with so much vaccination. If third wave is contained, definitely the economy will bounce back like last year. And the monsoon is definitely this year is south. Peninsula definitely monsoon is much superior than previous years. So the south definitely the individual housing demand is marginally degrown compared to first quarter last year. But second quarter we are seeing a bounce back because we are also talked to housing finance companies and banks. And last week we had also had a meeting with the top management of 2-3 banks. According to them, definitely the retail uptake of loan definitely bounced back from the third week of June as well as July. So definitely there is a good news for us because the demand for cement will definitely go up. Infra demand gets picked up very nicely. Demand from commercial segment is also up. Demand dampened due to lockdown in May, June, and especially South Peninsula gets affected very badly. The month of April, definitely we have done very well. The month of May, as soon as the lockdown was imposed, and it was very severe. The lockdown was severe because the northern area had lockdown before that in the month of the late March, as well as the first week of April, whereas we were doing well in March, April. But in May, because the second wave was created such a panic in Delhi as well as in Mumbai, so the government of Tamil Nadu took very active. Government of Tamil Nadu and Kerala took very stringent measures to contain the movement of the people or movement of vehicles. Even during the first wave, we are able to move cement, but during the second wave, even they restricted movement of vehicles. So definitely that affected our cement movement severely during month of May and for early part of June. But now almost normalcy is returned, except in Kerala. Kerala still have weekend lockdowns. So other than that, definitely Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, and East, the movement is normal. But monsoon is affected a little bit the sales of the cement. So weekend lockdowns still continue in Kerala. Prices have improved year on year. The signs of demand recovery is visible. East, definitely individual housing saw good growth. Infra demand has picked up. Demand from commercial segment is up. Prices have improved year on year. Strong demand recovery expected to sustain. So as far as the capacity increase is concerned, based on clinker, last year same quarter we have 53% capacity utilization, but this year we had 71% capacity utilization. So the revenue has gone up from 1,052 to 1,235 crores. That is 17% improvement. EBITDA has gone up from 270 to 370, almost 37% increase EBITDA. See this EBITDA, two aspects I want to tell you. Definitely our volume has impacted. Southern companies market has impacted more than the northern companies. In fact, northern companies had very least effect of the COVID-2. Wave 2, because certain packets only Mumbai and Delhi, such packets only affected, whereas that's why I told you, since the new government has come in Tamil Nadu as well as Kerala, they were very proactive and started enforcing very, very strict measures. That is why our volume is affected a little more than what we expected, or a little more than what northern companies have affected. So even with that, our EBITDA, we are able to improve from 270 to 370 crores. It will be subsequent clients. So this is also one of the EBITDA level, even though we are volume is affected, one of the best EBITDA in last certain quarters. Profit before tax is 250 crores compared to last year 156 crores. Profit after tax is again profit after tax. If you see the only actual tax payable, because we are at 34% tax slab, and even though we are only MAT company, I provided almost 49 crores towards the deferred tax. See, otherwise my profitability might have been 200 crores plus. So let us not think that the profit is only 116 crores. It is 200 crores plus if I remove the deferred tax effect. So the profitability is it is more than 54% jump net profit. So here you can see. Yeah, here you can see tax. The current tax is only 43 crores, and the deferred tax liability provided is 31 crores. If I remove that deferred tax liability, it is only the book entry. Our actual profit after tax is more than 200 crores. See, this is the thing I was explaining. So 270 crores is EBITDA, 450 crores, 403 crores, 459 and 370. So the EBITDA percentage is 80%, one of the best in the industry. So compared to last year, 26%. Profit before tax is 20%. Profit after tax after the event, even after providing deferred tax, is 14%. So the EPS has grown by 40%. Definitely, the first quarter was very challenging year as far as the raw material costs and other fuel costs are concerned, because always we used to have very high inventory of fuel at very low cost. But unfortunately, the availability itself has become big question mark. The last quarter of this year, because we were not able to import coal or petcoke in a big way of normally what we do. But still, our average cost of inventory petcoke cost is around $110 to $112 compared to today's spot price of $150 to $160. Even we are able to build up some stock that fuel stock has gone up by 150 crores. Also, the working capital, overall working capital, including even the packing material, we were expecting the availability of packing material will be problem. So even we increased our packing material stock. See, again, the inventory increase itself was more than 400 crores. The working capital increase was around 400 crores, which we are confident that it will bring down to normalcy this quarter end or early next quarter. So the rail power efficiency is 12% compared to last year only 8%. The lead distance for the current quarter is 346 kilometers compared to last year 315 kilometers. This is the power cost. See, this year the green power distance, it is waste heat recovery as well as wind power constituted almost 14% of our total power consumption. We are confident in this quarter with the availability of more wind power and also partial commissioning of the expanded third phase, that it may go up to 18 to 19%. And overall, maybe in third quarter and fourth quarter, I'm confident that this number will be around 20%. So the usage of petcoke has been brought down from 56% to 38%. The coming quarter it will be still lower, and we are going for alternate fuels. The alternate fuel has gone up from 11% to 28%. The imported coal is 33% to 39%. We have sufficient stock, and we have, I can say, reasonably low prices we have covered for next 4 to 5 months. These are the indexes we might have gone. I need not explain. These are all the published. See, we have commissioned our Jayanthipuram plant in June last week. So I can very glad to inform you that within first week of commissioning itself, we are able to stabilize the plant almost to the 80% of the guaranteed capacity. So because of monsoon, we have to stop the kiln again for some days. Again, last 1 week is running very smoothly, and the new clinker has been sent to our grinding units, as well as the cement has been produced out of the new clinker. The quality is well accepted in the market. So after expansion, the clinker capacity has increased to 13.65 million tons, and today the cement grinding capacity is 20.4 million tons, and WHRS is today existing is 18 megawatt. So in Jayanthipuram, another 9 megawatt will be commissioned. Out of 9 megawatt, 6 megawatt will be commissioned another 2 months time, and 3 megawatt will be commissioned during last quarter of this year. Kurnool, this 12 megawatt will be commissioned maybe third quarter or fourth quarter of this year. The TPP capacity is around 175. So with the Kurnool, we are going to commission 80 megawatt. With that, the total TPP will be 193 megawatt. And WHRS will be almost 5 megawatt. The capex incurred during the current quarter is around 400 crores. So many people thought that with Ramco Cement may not be possible to expand in Tamil Nadu because the limestone reserves are constrained. But we have sufficient limestone reserves, so we are expanding in Tamil Nadu. We are going to put up a new 3,000 tons per TPD plant. Our second plant, originally it was commissioned as only 200 tons. Then subsequently with lot of upgradation, we made it 1,450 tons per day, but that is inefficient. So we may decommission that, and we may run only the first line and third line. Is our today's plan. So the estimated project cost is 476 crores. So all the orders, the equipment have been ordered, and the civil work also have been finalized on the contractors. So the public hearing is completed. So the environmental clearance expected September first week or second week. Then immediately we will start civil work. So we are confident we will complete work in 15 months from the date of PC. Also, we have plans to commission 4 dry mortar plants. The 2 plants in Tamil Nadu, that is in R.R. Nagar as well as in Salem grinding unit, and 1 plant in AP and 1 in Orissa. So the AP it will be in Vizag, and Orissa it will be in our grinding unit in Baldaspur. The expected project cost is around 160 crores. Windmill, same, there is no increase in capacity, the same this one. The windmill generation, the first quarter as well as the month of July is better than last year. So this the percentage over, we will run a small video on the commissioning of the third line.
Yeah, thank you, sir. We will now begin with the Q&A session. You can ask your question by raise of hands in the attendees tab of WebEx platform. The participants who have logged in from phone, they can ask also a question by pressing a star and 3. So we'll wait for a moment for the question queue to assemble. Yeah, one more thing is that if anybody is asking from the phone, please introduce because we can't see the name, only the number is coming. Yeah, so first line is getting unmuted from the Kamlesh. Yeah, your line is getting unmuted, Kamlesh. You can go ahead.
Yeah, sir. Yeah, thanks for the opportunity, sir, and very resourceful presentation. Sir, one question on the part of CapEx, like how much CapEx is still pending for the projects which we have under construction, and the debt levels as on quarter end?
See, another 400 crores CapEx is spending on the existing project because we expanded the scope of the this one also. See, first we thought even in Kolimang, in Kurnool, we are not completed. We are only the first phase. Also for the future, also we are making provisions in the concrete structures. Everything has been provided. So because of that, there is little scope increase and the cost increase in the overall project cost. If you see the only first time, there's no big cost increase. Suppose taking into account the second scope also, the cash flow already is little overshot, and but this will be contained once we complete the project.
Okay, sir. And for debt level, sir?
See, debt level, mainly the debt has gone up because there is a working capital increase in the current quarter. So with that, our debt has gone up to 3,700 crores. But we are confident by this quarter end, we'll bring down the working capital by that. The 400 crores will be reduced, and there will not be any further borrowing, and we will bring down the loan availment also.
And sir, this 400 crore capex spending, does it include the dry mortar capex and the R.R. Nagar as well, or it is over and above?
Does not include R.R. Nagar because we may not be able to. This does not include R.R. Nagar because it will take some more time for the R.R. Nagar to pick up the construction space. But it includes dry mortar.
Okay. And sir, lastly, on the fuel cost, like say in this quarter, how much was the per 1000 kilocalorie cost of coal, and what is the current purchase cost which we are incurring in this particular quarter or the ongoing quarter?
So as I told you, today the purchase price is around 150 to $160. But whereas corresponding last year, the average was around $70, $69 to $70. And in fact, second quarter last year was even still lower than the first quarter last year. But today, the spot price of pet coke is around $150 to $160. But still, if we have not purchased anything at that price, still we have inventory for next 3-4 months. We will wait and see the price trend and buy more, depending upon the prices.
Okay. Thanks a lot, sir.
Yeah, next question is from one user from who has dialed from the phone. His number is getting unmuted. Yeah.
Hi, sir. This is Nitin Arora from Axis Mutual Fund. Thank you so much for taking my question. Sir, just dwelling more on the volume side. In the starting of the call, you said India economy was very less impacted, but cement was very much impacted. And I understand you stated the reason of South, the way states controlled, during the time of pandemic. When we see the similar players operating in South growing at 40%, 50% growth, and generally the end market which you supply, whether we talk to any contractors, the execution, the government didn't stop any execution, largely despite being the pandemic based on the South project, because severity was there across throughout Q1 in across regions. So they say they are not much impacted on execution, reflecting in their numbers. The real estate players, the execution, what we saw in their numbers are not down. I'm assuming they're using cement only. So, sir, can you throw some light, because on a 28% volume decline base, we are growing at 10%. It's a clear-cut case of market share loss, looks like. Can you throw some light on it? And that's my first question. I'll take up the second question after that.
No, definitely we have not lost market share. That I am 100% I assure you. See, you should see the regional growth, this one, regional-wise also. See, Tamil Nadu there was a total lockdown in the month of May and part of June also. Almost 1 month there was total lockdown, and they were part of June also, almost 10 days. In Kerala, even today, the lockdown continues for weekends. See, no part of the country is having lockdowns except Kerala today. See, like that, you will see when we are major players in that, we don't lose market share, but we lose sales. See, everybody is affected when there is a lockdown. That doesn't mean that somebody can sell cement and our vehicle alone is stopped. Every vehicle is stopped. When our market share is more in Tamil Nadu and Kerala, then definitely we will be during the short term. Definitely our sales will be affected little more than northern players or other players. That is definite. But we are confident we will bounce back once normalcy returns. Because the last year also we have seen such things, and the recovery in South is faster than the North. So definitely we are confident that our recovery in the coming quarters will be faster than other regions. Because other regions, last year if you really see the capacity utilization is as low as 30 to 40%, whereas our capacity utilization was 50%. See, here also our capacity is not that bad. It is around 71%.
Getting it.
Definitely for northern players, states like Uttar Pradesh, Gujarat, Rajasthan, and Madhya Pradesh is not that much affected compared to state of Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and Kerala. So, okay, to that extent, since predominantly we are catering to this market, our volume might be little impacted more than the northern players.
Okay. Getting it. So my second question is related to the the profitability on the EBITDA per ton part. Though we said in the Q2 last year, the EBITDA per ton is sustainable, but once volume starts coming up, the EBITDA per ton normalizes. And generally, the states which you are working is sitting at a very high prices. I'm not saying that whether it go up or down, But generally, what's your sense on profitability, how one should look at going forward? That's my last question. Thank you.
See, since the commodity prices are all going up, reasonably we are confident that there might be much price pressure on cement prices. The cement prices will be going up only. Okay, since we are able to contain our cost, we are also, as I told you, we are also, see, last year WHRS was almost nil. This year, our almost 14% of our, 11% of our power equipment so far made by WHRS, the share will also go up. And we have also taken up a lot of other measures to reduce the cost. With that, we are definitely confident that we will maintain the profitability. See, last year there was a pressure on yeast prices. This year, definitely yeast prices better than last year.
Thank you, sir. Thanks.
Yeah, and next question is also from the user who has dialed from the phone. His line is getting unmuted. Please introduce yourself. And
Hi, sir. This is Vivek Gedda here from HSBC Securities. Firstly, I just want to check what will be savings from decommissioning of line 2 and line 3 in operations at overall company level. We just wanted to understand what would be savings from decommissioning of the older lines at the company level in terms of profitability.
You are asking. See, definitely the cost saving.
That's right.
Definitely cost saving. I'm not telling incremental EBITDA. The cost saving alone will be minimum 50 crores per annum.
That's from line 2 and line 3 combined.
Yeah. I'm telling cost saving. Then because of the incremental volume, our EBITDA will be because their plant is if you see the highest EBITDA will be from Aranagar plant in the country. So definitely the EBITDA will be extra. I'm telling cost saving alone will be 50 crores per annum.
Got it. So second question is, your alternate fuel mix is almost at 20%, and it's significantly higher than India or even the world average. Just wanted to understand what all things constitute as a part of these alternate fuels. How sustainable is that?
Oh, it is sustainable. See, we are using certain. Just I don't want to reveal what is the source of that alternate fuel. Definitely sustainable because these are all already we have stock for next 1 or 2 months, and these all participated in tenders and we got committed quantity. So for uncommitted price. So with that, I am confident that whatever alternate fuels we are projecting, that ratio will be improved if not maintained.
So, sir, if I may put it the other way, if the alternate fuel mix is going to improve and your green power is also going to increase over the next few quarters, what kind of cost savings are we envisaging from just these two parts from a more sustainable basis?
See, there is whatever percentage of increase you have seen in a fuel price, that incremental increase may not be there.
Right.
Whatever the fuel price increase, that will be there. That I can't avoid it because the prices today is much higher than what we have stocked. So there may not be any incremental cost.
Okay, got it. Thank you, sir.
yeah, next question is from the Mr. Naveen Kumar. Naveen, your line is unmuted. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. Congratulations on such a good figure as compared to current conditions. So my question is, what is the trade and non-trade mix percentage, sir?
It's around 75-25. 75 is that trade and 25 is non-trade.
Okay. So my second question is, what is the blending ratio, sir?
The blending ratio is almost same. Around 77% is the blended cement and 23% is the OPC.
Okay. And is there any premium cement, sir, or what are the targets for your premium cement?
So, see, the premium cement in Ramco is really is user-based. See, it requires a lot of personal meeting, and we have to explain what is the benefit of my premium cement and the cost benefit. We have to explain in person. Then only people can believe it and they buy. See, last year, definitely last before year 1920, definitely whatever efforts we made, they gave very good results. Since the pandemic, our technical people, they are not able to visit the field. Okay, to that extent, it hampered our efforts to gear up our incremental sales in our premium cement. But I am confident, okay, once this pandemic is over, our people are able to travel, definitely we can increase the percentage of our percentage of our premium cement.
Okay. And what is the this railroad mix, sir?
It is around 88% is road, 12% is rail.
80% is rail.
88% is road, 12% is rail.
Okay. And what about, sir, a state-wise mix, sir?
So if we take Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, it is 100% by road, and also under the rail. South, you can take 100% by road. See, whatever rail.
I'm talking about sales, sir. Sales state-wise.
State-wise, I can't give you.
Okay. And what is the working capacity, sir? Is it more than 90% or some other figures?
No, today we are working. If you ask me today, we are working around 85 to 90% capacity utilization.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
See, another thing, just I want to tell you to the audience, even though our borrowing has gone up, we are able to reduce our cost of borrowing almost by 200 basis points. And our working capital borrowing cost is as low as 3.4%. Number one. Number two, we are also launching new products. As I told you the last this one, we are also launching new products. Just 2 to 3 more new products. Next week, we are going to launch a new product by name Ramco Super Froster, which will be used exclusively for the frosting of the walls and brick. This one. That next week we are going to launch it. That will also give good cost saving for us and also premium with the market.
It's not a cement.
It's not. I told you, Ramco Super Froster. It is
Okay.
It is a dry mix. It is a mortar type.
Okay, so next question will go to the Indrajit Agarwal. Your line is getting unmuted.
Yeah, hi. Thanks for the opportunity. Couple of questions. First, on freight cost, on a quarter-over-quarter basis, that is compared to March quarter, despite lead distance and diesel prices going up, our freight cost per ton has reduced. So, what has driven this?
It's not exactly freight cost. It also includes our godowns, the maintenance of godowns, and handling expense. All these things substantially, we are able to move the cement directly to the customers rather than moving to the godowns. That reduces the cost significantly, even though our lead distance is gone up.
So, it is largely sustainable, or there is any one-off?
It is sustainable. It is sustainable.
Okay, thank you. And when you say 85 to 90% utilization in July, this is on expanded clinker capacity or before the Jayantipuram expansion?
It is before. Because the clinker capacity just last, I told you, we commissioned only on 20th of June. Then we 1 week we run. Then 1 week I got stop for taking maintenance of that. Last 1 week only it is running continuously. Whatever I told you, 85 to 90% is old capacity. But now all the kilns are running. So now the coming months, definitely our maybe August, September, definitely our whatever capacity I'm telling you will be on the.
So if I put it this way, so for June and July, or particularly for July, how is the current offtake level, not just for Ramco, for the industry versus say May and June? Is it more like almost 30-40% higher? Or?
No. It all again, it all depends upon region specific because of this monsoon. See, the monsoon made all the difference because we never seen such monsoon in Karnataka and Maharashtra, and also we had cyclone in the east in the month of June, so that had its own effect. So every region is having its own challenges. So generally we can't say, okay, this is the percentage each place can achieve because the monsoon is very heavy in Karnataka, also in Kerala. Tamil Nadu, we have rains, even though it does not hampered our sales too much, but the rains what we had in Tamil Nadu is 100 years high.
Okay, that is clear. One last question. What is the petcoke booking cost for March quarter? That is last quarter. You said this quarter was 110 to 115. How much was it last quarter?
It's almost same. It's almost same.
So
No, sorry. Petcoke price, yeah. No. For the March quarter as well as June quarter, is any increase? Yeah, there is a $14 increase.
all right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, and all the best.
Yeah, thank you, Indrajit. Next question is from the Amit Murarka. Amit, your line is unmuted.
Yeah, hi, good evening. So my question is on fuel mix. So I believe you simply have 80% of petcoke dependency in your fuel mix. So given that there is a substantial difference now between coal costs and petcoke costs, like are you looking to move that to coal, and is there a possibility to do that?
No, since petcoke prices are high, yes. I mean the answer to that is yes. I mean we are also now mixing coal and other alternate fuels also to stabilize the total cost.
So what could you share your fuel mix for 1Q FY22?
Sorry?
Can you please share your fuel mix for 1Q FY22?
No. A lot of it is competitive information also.
Okay. Also on the question of volumes, you mentioned that the volumes were weak in South, but what I understand is volumes in East were quite strong actually in the quarter. And the companies that have reported have 4% QOQ drop in. So does that mean the drop rate 40-45%?
Sorry, we lost you. Yeah. We can't hear you.
What I was asking is the East volumes have about 15-20% is what we understand from the companies that have reported in the Eastern region. But your volume decline is much bigger, and I believe you have about 25-30% of your sales mix in East. So does that mean that the Southern volume declined nearly 40-45% in the quarter on a QOQ basis? I mean.
Yes. Quarter on quarter, yes. Quarter on quarter, what you say is right, but if compared to first quarter of last year, if you compare with the first quarter last year, definitely East we have grown. See, last quarter was one of the exceptional quarter for us because we had done almost 3.2 million tons, which is almost 106% of our capacity. So it's not possible for the first quarter to repeat because we have run out of clinker stock. Almost we have run with the zero stock of the clinker and cement. So during month of April, we have to take the maintenance of the equipment also because February, March, the demand for cement was so good, we have postponed the maintenance. So in the month of April, we took the maintenance of the equipment. So in the month of April, we are able to dispatch only 850,000 tons against normal dispatch of 950,000 to 1 million tons. See, unfortunately, in the month of May, June, once our equipments are ready to dispatch full, the lockdown has been imposed. So because of that, we have to stop the kiln again because the silos are full. First, in the month of July, all the kilns are running, and we are confident the coming quarters, the capacity utilization will be good. And definitely, as you rightly told, this first quarter compared to last year first quarter, we have grown in the East by more than 30%, but in South we have degrowth. In both Kerala as well as Karnataka, we have big degrowth. Tamil Nadu, we are not degrown, but in Kerala and Karnataka, we are degrown. Well, I told you, although we have not lost market share, there is loss of sale for everybody.
Okay, sure. And on the new clinker line that you commissioned, so by when you think you will be able to reach, let's say, 70-80% utilization levels in that one?
Already we achieved. That's the thing I told you. Already we achieved. Already we guaranteed capacity 80 to 90%. Already we are producing.
So okay, so this is for the month of July.
Shown in the video, all the 3 lines are running today.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
We are producing almost 12,000 tons of clinker in Gandhipuram last 2 3 days, in spite of months rains.
Okay, sure. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Amit. Next question is from the Swagato Ghosh. Swagato, your line is getting unmuted.
Yeah, thank you, sir, for taking my question. Sir, firstly, on the petcoke cost, you mentioned that your cost increased about $15 per ton quarter on quarter. So I just want to understand this better, because if I look at spot prices, and even if I consider that you have some days of inventory, the spot prices had started to move up quite sharply QOQ some quarters back. So how did you manage to maybe control this QOQ price increase to only $15 a ton? And a related question is, do cement companies, larger companies, have some sourcing advantage so that the spot price that we see generally, cement companies are able to buck that cost trend and able to source it more economically?
Yeah, we have certain long-term commitments from our suppliers. So because of that, we are able to source at cheaper rates, number one. But not the question of larger companies or small companies, the question of when you are entering the contract for the petcoke. That is very important for petcoke as well as coal. Fortunately, we have placed orders, we placed orders and we have stock. That is the biggest advantage we had. And now, to be frank with you, at $150, I not purchase even 6 ton of petcoke. Whatever last purchase price was around $15 to $116. So we not purchase anything under $150. I am not going to buy that at $150 also, because we have stock and we are also accumulating our alternate fuels. The quantity also we are accumulating for 4 to 5 months.
Okay, sir, this is helpful, but just to ask this question in a slightly different way, if you had to purchase more of petcoke, you will not because of whatever reason you said, but if you had to, would the prices then reflect the sharp increase that we see on spot prices, which would be like more close to maybe $150 a ton where petcoke has reached? Would we be also be procuring at that price if we have to incrementally more?
That will be 1 or 2 quarters afterwards, not now. No. Yeah, that's $60 for them and increase of they may not happen now. That will be only after 1 or 2 quarters, because I may not buy at $150 per month.
Yes, got it. Got it. Okay, sir. Sir, and the second question is, I want to understand why are the older lines getting decommissioned? A very basic question. Maybe I'll have a follow-up once you give this.
See, our Aranagar, the second line was installed some 30 years back, only with 200 tons a day. The capacity was only 200 tons a day. Then subsequently, we are going on upgrading now. Today, the capacity is 1,450. That is, power fuel consumption is very inefficient, so we want to decommission it, so that we can save cost.
Okay, okay. Sir, when you say decommission, can't we have that line as an optionality in terms of to serve the market in days of high volume growth? Why do you want to decommission it? What are the this is a very basic question, but why can't we yeah.
See, once you have such thing, our Ramco Cement always we believe in our efficiency. Once you have that option, then plant will be run inefficiently. See, once we identified it's inefficient, better to stop it, scrap it.
Okay, okay. And sir, this would be potentially
the market is really good, then I can expand the capacity also.
Okay, okay, okay. Fair enough.
I can put 1 more line.
Fair enough, sir. Fair enough.
It's important to understand that we also think like that, like what you just said. It's just that if it's so inefficient, its vendors will not have it. And the new line is anyway going to take care of that and more.
Fair, fair. I was just coming from the point of view, sir, that maybe there might be spikes in demand, which might not necessitate a additional line, but like this line might be kept as a backup. But okay, you have your reasons of efficiency, so the
No,
point
if
is
that
well
is the
taken.
case, if that is the case, I'm expanding in Andhra Pradesh. I can transfer the clinker and grind here also. We have sufficient grinding capacity. Because in Salem I have grinding units, Sangalpet I have grinding unit. I have sufficient grinding unit. If the demand spikes, definitely I can move clinker from Andhra Pradesh plant to Salem grinding unit and the Sangalpet and the Chennai grinding unit, and we can increase our volume.
Right.
So
And sir,
whatever volume I am transferring in Andhra Pradesh, that will be for that to that extent I can conserve my clinker to the northern part of Tamil Nadu, and I can send to southern part of Tamil Nadu from the existing plant, Tamil Nadu plants.
makes sense. Okay. And sir, one.
Sorry to interrupt. Just I'm telling you. In fact, our Kurnool plant is very near to our Chennai grinding unit rather than our Tamil Nadu plants.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And sir, one last follow-up on this topic is, did you do this very judiciously in a time when probably volumes are not that high and cash is good for the company and the sector in general? So this is probably the right time to do this kind of kitchen sinking. Can we think about this move in that sense?
So volume wise, you can't, because if you see 19, 20, we have achieved almost 100% capacity utilization. You can't say I think when the volume is low. See 2021, because of pandemic, our sales is less, not because of anything else.
True.
So since 1920 itself, we have done our 100% capacity utilization. We have planned both Jainavaram expansion as well as Kurnool expansion. I might have announced the RNR expansion also at that time. Because the projects are delayed because of pandemic, I don't want to scare the market, as well as also I didn't get the right kind of civil contractors, because our civil contractors are all busy with both the Kurnool project as well as Jainavaram project. So that is why we are announcing RNR project now.
Okay.
Otherwise, it was planned a year before.
Okay. Got it, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Swagato. Next question is from Mr. Bharat Seth. Yeah, Mr. Bharat, you can go ahead. Your line is unmuted.
Hi, sir. Thanks for the opportunity. I just want to understand that in Q1 our utilization was only 71%. Despite that, we have purchased and outsourced clinker. So why? And we will continue to go on. Outsourcing the clinker.
No. That is one-time purchase. See, that was contracted in the month of January itself. We received late. There was a lot of delay in arrival of the cargo. Otherwise, there was no need for this one. Since we were able to sell more than 100% of our capacity in the month of last quarter of last year, we thought before commissioning of this Jainavaram, we thought a lot of demand for this cement. So we should have sufficient clinker to meet the demand. That is why we bought that clinker. And there will not be any more buying.
Okay, sir. Now with commissioning of this Jainavaram, and by year end we expect to start Kurnool plant also.
In September.
And we have set up several grinding unit in Odisha as well as in Kolkata, West Bengal. We were looking at some kind of a logistic cost saving. So how do we really see that? When will it start playing out? Logistic cost.
See, with all these things, our logistic we have shown now, our average lead distance is only 394.
Despite the diesel price increase of 29%, the overall logistics cost per ton has not increased. So that means the logistics advantage is tripling.
That is mainly due to this commissioning of this grinding unit.
Yes.
And the Kurnool plant, we were also evaluating to enter into the newer market. So what stage it is? So can you give some more color on that?
Oh, no, from the Kurnool market, Karnataka is very near to Kurnool market rather than our Tamil Nadu branch. Definitely Karnataka, our focus will be more, and also Maharashtra market. So we are also exploring to set up grinding units on other places. Okay, where I'm going to put up that I will tell you in the next call, definitely. So with that, it may be not necessarily, it may be new territory, it may be the existing territory. For example, in Andhra Pradesh, we are not very much present in the Rayalaseema area. So I want to have one grinding unit in Rayalaseema so that we can increase our presence in Rayalaseema area much higher than what we are today. See, like that, one or two new sites also. That Rayalaseema area, for the grinding unit, water land record already purchased. Even 10 years back we purchased. And for the railway filling also, we have got necessary clearance. So that work also will start maybe after 1 or 2 quarters.
And is that correct understanding that with this increase in this alternate fuel and despite increase in the pet coke prices as well as other, so our fuel cost will not go much above, will not increase much?
It will not go much, sir. It will not go up much. Yeah, well, your statement is right. With our planning, it will not go up much.
Okay.
Because we are putting a lot of pressure on our plant also to go for alternate fuels, and which is much cheaper. So definitely it will not go up much. As you rightly told, it may go up, but it will not go up much.
So are we still using lignite that we earlier, which we were using in our Tamil Nadu plant?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, next question is from Paridhi Agrawal. Paridhi, just introduce yourself and then ask question.
Hello, sir. This is Paridhi Agrawal from Kolkata, from Millennium Man. So I wanted to know, so how do you see the south prices and the east prices both moving from here?
Yeah, I told you the input costs are going up. So the producers, they have no option except to maintain the price and also to increase the prices because the fuel prices are going up, diesel prices are going up every day. So the producers have no option except to increase the price. I hope I answered your question.
Hello?
Amit?
Yeah, sir. He has.
I hope I answered your question.
Yes, sir. You have answered. Next question we have with from the Nikhil Vyas. Nikhil, your line is getting unmuted. Please introduce yourself and then ask question.
Yeah, thanks for giving the opportunity. I have a question on the high value products that we have mentioned in the PPT, waterproofing, repair products, flooring screeds, and the liquid products. So what is our vision around it, and can you give more colors on that front?
So that is our from our dry mix plant. See, we have put up our dry mix plant from 7-8 years back in Chennai. The demand is very good. It is picking up nicely. So since we are serving that product from all over from only Chennai plant, we thought we will diversify into different geographies also. So 2 more plants we are going to put up in Tamil Nadu, one in Aranagar plant, near Aranagar plant, and another one in Salem. Then we are going to put up one in Vizag and another one in Odisha. See, after commissioning of all these things, definitely we will look for more such plants in Kolkata, also in Karnataka. We are planning.
Okay, sales wise, do we have a? I mean, of course, it's too early, but do we have a vision around it? What are we looking at?
Yeah, each plant will have turnover of 50 to 70 crores. Whatever each plant, the potential is 50 to 70 crores.
Okay, and sir, one more question on Links Logistics. So we have made some strategic investment in Links Logistics. So what is the plan for that, long-term plan?
The long-term plan, the Links Logistics, see now they also expanded their business model. from last mile delivery, they are also now. One second, Mr. Abhinav is here. Who is the promoter of Big Logistics? He can explain to you better.
Right.
Yeah. So in the last 1 year, we've actually added a broader scope to the business. We've actually become more of a Kirana commerce platform now, where we aggregate and replace existing distributors and wholesalers for FMCG companies, and basically become a technology-driven distribution platform to Kirana stores. That's what we've been doing over the last 1 year, and have aggregated more than 18 brands, and the business is scaling very well. Some of the leading brands that we've onboarded are Marico, Dabur, ITC, Colgate, Beckett, and so on. So we have over 18 brands, and the business is growing quite rapidly at about 25% month on month. And we are now this business. We will be reaching out to financial investors to actually fund this and take forward.
Okay. Okay. Thanks a lot.
See, all our investments, to be frank with you, morning, they are not included that I can respond. See, whatever investment we made in Ramco Industries, Ramco Systems, as well as other investment, have increased the value many folds, almost 40-50 times.
Yeah. So next question, we'll take it from Mangesh Badang. Mangesh, your line is getting unmuted. Please go ahead.
Hello, good afternoon, sir, and thanks for this presentation. So a couple of questions from my side. In the recent media interviews, you had mentioned that you expect the industry to grow by around 20%. So you were mentioning that for all India or for southern region?
For India.
For all India. And you even after 1Q, you maintain that I think 20% you expect for this year?
Yeah. So it all depends upon wave 2, how we are wave 3, how wave 2 is. See, we never anticipated that Kerala will be extended lockdown. To be frank with you, I never anticipated this. Because when May, June, when pandemic was over in all over the world, we thought the Kerala was also back to normal. But today, at least 6-7 districts of Kerala is severely affected, and half of the COVID patients are only in Kerala today. And we don't know wave 3. Yeah. Depending upon all these things, okay, the normalcy is returned, definitely the industry will achieve 20%. Definitely, okay. So other companies will achieve 100%.
Okay.
The normalcy should return, and whatever the monsoon, we thought it will be normal monsoon, but what we are seeing today is above normal monsoon in South.
True, sir. True. So second question is, so we have added around 3.75 million tons of clinker. So is it based on that added capacity of clinker, is it safe to assume that we could easily do additional 5.5 million tons, say by FY23?
Possible, 100%.
Okay. Yeah. So that's it from my side, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Mangesh. Next question is from Girish Chaudhary. Girish, your line is getting unmuted. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, good evening. Thanks for taking my question. On the RR Nagar capex, since it's a replacement of old mill, what will be the cost benefits due to better efficiencies, and also will there be any volume loss in the interim due to decommissioning of the older line?
Oh, there will not be any loss because of decommissioning of this one, because the new kilns larger size than the decommissioning, we decommission the plant. So there will not be any volume loss. And the cost benefit around will be 50 crores minimum. In power, the saving I'm telling to you, that will be 50 crores. Then because of the incremental volume, we are going to get an extra, extra.
Okay. So this 50 crores is for the 1,450 tons per day replacement.
Yeah, you are right. No, it is 3,000 tons because the extra 1,000 tons we are going to get, and also extra 1,500 tons we get, and also we are going to decommission the 1,500 tons. The new, because our RRL is old plant, and the new we are going for the vertical mills for the raw mill as well as cold mill. They will replace the existing some of the existing raw material requirement as well as coal requirement. So with all these things, our extra benefit cost advantage will be pretty good.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, sir. That's it from my end.
Yeah. Next question is from the Sanjay Nandi. Sanjay, your line is getting unmuted.
Yeah. Good evening, sir. So what kind of volume numbers we are expecting for FY22?
If 100% normalcy is there, definitely 20% is our that is our dream to achieve.
20% growth we're expecting, right?
Yeah. If there's no wave 3, definitely we want to march towards that 20%.
Okay. Okay. And sir, you're talking of the 50 crore savings in the overall savings from the new clinker line. So this 50 crore is for quarterly basis or it's on annual basis?
Annual basis, you are right.
Annual
No,
basis.
it's only the cost saving. It is not the incremental profits for EBITDA. If you add that together, it will still be.
Got it, sir. Got it. And what is the current scenario, sir? In the first month of the July, it's July already gone. So what has been the utilization levels in the southern part and area you operate?
See, today this one is around 85 to 90% of our capacity utilization we are able to sell, in respect of lockdown in Kerala and also heavy monsoon again in Kerala as well as Karnataka. This month also will achieve 85 to 90% on world capacity.
Overall. So, sir, if I'm not wrong, the exit utilization for Q1 was 46%. So, what has led to this sudden jump in the utilization? Is it because of the retail sales or it's institutional sales?
Well, yeah, both. Because last year was extended lockdowns. This year, the lockdown was not that extended. So, to that extent, number of days available for sale is more. That is why we have a growth, 11% growth. To that extent, utilization is gone up.
Okay.
And also, I told you, and also based on the clinker, see, the month of this last quarter, we exhausted the full capacity. So there was no clinker available. So we are able to run clean more number of days, even in spite of the lockdowns.
Okay, sir. And the power and fuel cost is expected to just remain in this line, right, sir? Because we've already seen the power and fuel cost is expected to be in this line only, right? Because we've already seen a 30% kind of jump on a YY basis. So can we expect this to be stable or we can expect some spike in the prices?
I told you earlier, there may not be big increase in the power from this level.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you so much. That's on my side, sir. Wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Yeah, a reminder to all the participants, if anyone wants to ask the question, we can raise the hands in a participant tab. Yeah, your Ashish Jain. Next question is from Ashish Jain. Ashish, your line is unmuted. Hello, Ashish, your line is unmuted. Ashish Jain.
Sorry. Hi, sir. Good evening. Sir, like RR Nagar, is there a need to upgrade kiln lines at any other plants as well?
No, there's no need.
Okay. And so secondly, in terms of the waste heat recovery, what kind of cost savings do we envisage whenever the 39 megawatt is completely commissioned and fully operational?
See, the 14% of power is going to today around 11% of power is going to be free. We are going to get at zero cost. That is the advantage of the waste heat recovery.
So, sir, you are already at 14. This 14 will go to 25 whenever waste heat recovery is fully done?
No. See, 14 to go to 23 while commissioning the Jainivaram plant. Then to go to another 12, 45 while commissioning the Kurnool plant.
Right. Okay. Got it.
So in Tamil Nadu, we have only small waste heat recovery.
So in Tamil Nadu also we have waste heat recovery, but does not generate additional power, but reduces the heat consumption at our power plant and reduces the cost almost by 50 paise per unit. In Jainivaram, in Andhra plants, definitely we are getting additional power. It is replacing my TPP, thermal power plant. Whereas in Tamil Nadu plants, we are not getting additional power.
We are replacing the source of.
The heat consumption at this one is brought down, and to the fuel consumption at TPP is brought down, and we are saving cost by almost 50 paise per unit. Already we commissioned Aranagar plant a year back, and another 2-3 months we will be commissioning in our Oracle plant also.
Right. Thank you, sir. Thanks.
Yeah, next question is from the line of Sagar Parekh. Sagar, your line is unmuted. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, sir. My question is on the capex. So you said 400 crore is the pending capex. So for this year, how much should we assume as the total capex for FY22?
FY22 will be around, no, without Aranagar, it will be around 800 crores.
Without Aranagar, 800 crores.
No, it's already not additional 800. It's additional 400. Already incurred 400. FY22.
Right. So 400 would be the pending capex in the 9 months, right?
Without Aranagar.
Yeah, but Aranagar you would possibly spend in FY23, right? Because
maybe next call I'll give you the full details, because now only we commission, because I'm yet to get the environmental clearance. So depending upon that only my schedule will give. I definitely next call I will clearly give you what amount will be spent.
Okay, understood. So basically, even if I assume 100-200 crores from Aranagar, so overall capex now in the next 9 months will possibly not be more than about 600 crores maximum. And even if I assume about 1,400 crores of operating fit coming in the next 9 months from your business, so we are still talking about at least another 700-800 crores of debt reduction over and above the 400 crores of working capital. So can we assume about 1,400 crores net debt reduction from the current level then?
Yeah, thank you. You explained nicely. So I need not add any more.
Yeah. So correct. So this is the right reasonable assumption to make, right? About 1,400 crores debt reduction.
Just I will reduce my working capital also.
Right.
To what extent? Just definitely I'm confident we will reduce the working capital. If we are able to reduce the working capital, then whatever you say is right.
Okay. So, but 400 crores working capital will possibly be reduced by Q2 only, right?
We are working towards that. It is possible.
Okay, sure. That's it from my side, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Sagar. Sir, as there is no question, I'll just hand over to you for concluding remarks. Then we can.
Yeah, thank you everybody for participating in this investor call. Like CEO has said, we are very confident about continuing to perform at a high level. We are making all the right investments, and we hope that we continue to get your support in making sure that our company does well. Thank you.
See, at the concluding level, I want to assure one thing. We have not lost any market share in South. We lost only sales. And definitely overall consumption has come down in the South. Because of that only our sales has come down, and we have grown in the East.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir, for your valuable inputs. And that concludes this conference call for today. Thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you, Amit, for organizing a nice call. Thank you.
Welcome, sir.